Okay,
Started.
great.
Yeah.
So you're able to view my screen, right?
Yes.
So let's see requirement gathering techniques and methods. Okay, so as a
Okay.
business analyst, our job is to communicate with the client and get the requirement from the client.
Hmm.
So how do you gather these requirements? What type of questions you ask? What type of techniques and methods you follow? We will see that. The first technique
Oh.
is Moscow technique. Here comes the Moscow technique. Okay, so Moscow is a prioritization technique used in business analysis and software development. Uh,
Okay.
Reach a common understanding with stakeholders on the importance they place on the delivery of each requirement. So which requirement is very is critical, which requirement is least, in based on that, we have to gather requirements,
Hmm.
also known as Moscow prioritization or Moscow analysis. So in Moscow, M stands for must, S stands for should, C stands for could, W stands for would or won't. Must, should,
Okay.
could, would or won't. So O and O they added in middle to frame a word. That's it. It's not any place name or a person name. It just
Okay.
they framed it like Moscow. That's it. So M stands for must, should, and then S stands for should, could, and would or won't. So if you take an example of a cell phone, what are the must requirements for a cell phone? The must requirements for a cell phone will be uh, cell phone must be handy.
Hmm.
Cell phone must have a battery, correct? Cell
Yeah.
phone must have a connection, because
Hmm.
you have a cell phone, there is no battery. You have a cell phone which is not handy,
Okay.
and you have a cell phone where there is no connection. I mean the telecommunication, So these
Hmm.
are the mandatory basically, and there must be a screen. I said screen, not the touch screen. That means there must be a screen where you will be able to see. At least you will be able to see who is calling you and to whom you have to call. Correct? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the touchpad or the QWERTY keypad. Okay, anything that can be, but there must be a screen, and it
Okay.
must be chargeable, um, and it must make to connect a call and messaging also, because if a person is unable to receive a call,
We
correct,
can
or
text them.
text them. These are the mandatory things. I'm talking about the hardware
Hmm.
and software, whatever it is. Yeah,
Hmm.
these are the must critical requirements. If any of the requirement is not implemented in this, we don't call
Oh.
it as a cell phone. We cannot design the cell phone. Suppose if the cell phone is there, there is no battery. What is the use? Cell phone is there, there is no screen. How will you call someone or connect to someone? The cell phone
Yeah.
is there, there is no connection. Huh? So
Okay.
like this comes under must. So as a business analyst, first what happens is you will get a theory, you will get a paragraph, like you will get a bunch of story, a description, project description, or we call it as a proposal from the client. In the
Okay.
proposal they will mention that we want a cell phone, all the description it will be where people can connect with this. A lot of description will be there. So you have to read
Okay.
that first, understand it, and ask must questions. Go to the client or
Okay.
call the client or email a client, whatever it is. You ask the client to tell me what are the most critical must requirements and put them in the list. And then comes the should requirement. Should have this if at all possible. Should is something like, which brings more weightage to your product. Like, can't you make a normal phone into smartphone? Why not? We can make. It's an advantage.
Okay.
Can't you add a recording button to the cell phone? Yeah, why not? Can't you make a touch screen? Why not? It's good.
Hmm.
Can't you make the phone very slim or lightweight? Yeah, why not? Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, recording, whatnot, camera. Okay, camera. So
Yeah.
this all comes under should. See what is happening. They are not affecting in a bad way. They are affecting in a right way. I mean, they are an advantage
Hmm.
for a cell phone. Correct.
Yeah.
that comes under should. But however, they are second priority, not the critical, but they are second priority, right? And could is something
Okay.
like, could have this if it does not affect anything else. There are some requirements which they really bother you, like
Hmm.
maybe the size of the phone is not good, or the internal features, or it is not handy, huh? So
Yeah.
such requirements, what we do is we ignore them basically. We ignore. I mean, we put it aside. We don't consider them as a proper, requirement. We put it aside. That comes under could have this if it does
Okay.
not affect anything else. And last we have is would or won't. Would or won't means won't have this time, but would like in the future means we don't want right now, okay? But sure,
Hmm.
however, we want it in the next version.
Future.
Means, yeah,
Okay.
future. Why? Because why not now? Means maybe lack of budget, maybe lack of importance of the requirement, maybe lack of time, maybe people are not in a position to understand that requirement. Correct?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that. Exactly. So this all comes under would or won't have this
Okay.
time, but will like in the future. So most of the time, what happens is when you are designing any product or any application, there may be so many new requirements will come up in middle. So what they do is they will based on the situation, based on the priority, they will decide whether to add them or postpone.
Okay.
It is not like every requirement they add in the product, because when you are trying to design a project, there will be some budget, and there will be some limitation, there will be some time, there will be some target, correct? So within the time we have to
Yes.
finish it off. If you keep on
Okay.
adding like that, if you keep on adding new and new features, it will continue, you know like, so that is the reason we call it as would or won't. So
Okay.
end of the day, what happens is we delete. I mean, we don't put this could and would or won't in the sheet. We only put must and should in the sheet. Sheet means what? Requirements template. I will show you the requirement template now. Mhm. What happened? So you can see here Moscow ranking MSCW. Okay,
Okay.
Moscow ranking, and this is the requirement template. You can see, right, requirement template.
Okay.
This is the requirement template. See here. First one, requirement one. Provide error message when the name field is invalid.
Okay.
Moscow ranking M. In this, it's a credit card call center application. In this,
Okay.
the fellow says when you enter a wrong ID or when you enter a wrong username, customer name, it must provide a error.
Error message.
Is it
Hmm.
a value? Is it a high priority or not? Of course, it is a high priority, right? Yes.
Hmm.
That is the reason I put here M. Mask or rank
Okay.
first. Then provide error message when the date of birth provided is invalid. Again M. Then provide fields within something like that. Related to this. You can see all M's, and then here comes S. We can see S also. Only M and S you will find must and should. Should are like regarding some address here they mentioned the physical address, and the address which is on the credit card application must be same, or I can say permanent address and temporary address, and both fields must be
Okay.
filled, something like that. Yeah, so this comes under should, like this. Just here is an example, just try to understand the logic here. Okay, must
Okay.
and should, like this we put in a template, requirement template. And the templates differ,
Who will decide the should requirements? Like client will be giving
business
few
analyst.
requirements.
No, a client will
Okay.
give you a
So
proposal.
okay. Okay.
Proposal is like a history.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you have to read it, understand it, ask questions to the client, follow this Moscow technique, ask them which is
Oh.
must, which is should, which is good, like that. Hmm?
Oh.
Hmm. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. But this is our job. As a BA, it's our job to mention. And the
Okay.
templates will differ. Here they mention priority release means which date it got released on, when you assigned it to the developer. You can keep on
Hmm.
adding those points here. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
This is a ASCO technique. This is one technique where we follow. I mean, when we will follow this means, as a business analyst, when you are not very sure about the requirements, priority, which requirement has to come. Then what happens is, when you share this information to the technical team will design all the must requirements first, then only they will design should requirements next. Otherwise, what happens is, they may design should requirements first, and
Hmm.
they may design would or won't requirements first, and at end of the day there won't be much time to design these must requirements. What happens now? Automatically the time increases, the budget increases. Correct. uh,
Yes. Yes.
that is what that is the purpose of this Moscow technique. Okay.
Okay.
And the second we have is Zachman method. Zachman is a person from IBM. He
Okay.
introduced this Zachman method. Zachman says 5Ws 1H means ask these questions to the client and get information from the client. So mostly we use this
Okay.
for new projects, of course. Even
Hmm.
Moscow technique, any technique we use it for new projects only. But this mostly, Zachman method is for new projects. Why? Because here, as a BA, we ask these six questions, like 5Ws and 1H, like why, where, what, who, when, and how to the client, and we try to understand the project in detail, requirements in detail.
Hmm.
Suppose if you ask the client, can you explain me the project? So
Okay.
they go with some
Business.
theory. It's not like so. Then you can ask them like, hey, what is this? Suppose if the client says we are looking for an online banking, you can ask them, what is online banking? How it works?
Hmm.
Where it works? Why it is so important? Correct?
Okay.
For who will work on this? For whom you are designing this? Hmm?
Hmm. Hmm.
These questions you can ask.
Okay.
How to ask a requirement to the client by using 5W1H. See here, why, what, when, where, who, and how. And look at this.
Okay.
Here is the framework. So we don't look into enterprise model, system model, and all this. We will only concentrate on the scope part. Okay.
Okay.
These enterprise model, system model, the technical team will look into this. You can see here designer, builder, correct? Logical, physical,
Hmm.
conceptual diagram. Look at this, the scope planner on the top. If you see the abstractions and perspective,
Yeah.
what, how, where, who, when, and why. And for what we have data, how we have function, where means network, who means people, when means time, why means motivation. That is a purpose. So first let's go with an example. Facebook. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say you are a SME or you are a product owner of a Facebook. You people are
Hmm.
looking for some Facebook application. You approached IBM, and I am a business analyst from IBM. Okay. So
Okay.
now as a BA, I'll ask you some questions you have to answer. My first question is, um, what is this Facebook? It's a general question, like what is
Hmm.
this Facebook? You have to tell me what is that.
Okay.
Uh,
It's a social networking site where people interact with other people and get to know lots of information.
hmm. Okay, so what I understand is it is a communication area. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. And also they mentioned data means like, okay, it will have I mean, customer must be able to create a account, correct?
Yeah.
Like that, right? And next question is how. Okay, I understand it, what you said, where people communicate with each other, but how it works? Could you explain me the whole functionality what Facebook does?
Okay. It uses internet and it uses the valid credentials.
I am talking about Facebook application, so you can say the functionality of the Facebook is where a person can create a profile, upload picture, find friends, send
Okay.
messages, advertise a product. You can buy
Hmm.
something on that, correct? You can create your own
Yes.
page.
Okay.
You can send invitations. You can create groups. Huh? Correct?
Okay.
This is the function.
Yeah.
So you have to tell me about the whole functionality of this Facebook. Then I will understand.
Oh.
Okay, suppose if I ask you what is the functionality of a cell phone, so immediately you
Hmm.
say cell phone is a communication device, where it will have a call button, end button, messaging option. Correct? What you are
Hmm.
doing,
Yeah.
you're telling me the functionality what cell phone will do. The same way you have to tell me the functionality of the Facebook, right? So you
Oh.
are the client and I'm getting information from you. Okay.
Hmm.
So it will have, so these are the options. I'm making a note of all this. So what happens here is I'm getting a clarity. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm understanding now in a easy way instead of reading the theory and all this. I'm understanding in a detailed way.
Okay.
And where it works, list of locations in which the business operates.
Globally.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a worldwide. So in some countries they banned it, but it's a worldwide application. And here they
Hmm.
mention major business location. Yeah, of course, in India, US, there are some countries, correct, where they use it more.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So who are important? Next, people. Who? Because I said five W's, one H, right? One, two, three. This is the third W. Who are important means who are important for this Facebook? Everybody.
People.
People. See, uh, where there are more people, there will be more advertisements. Simple.
Yes.
So, so Facebook is a free site where you can register, and Facebook earns money from advertisements. Correct?
Okay.
Yes, that is how it
Yes.
works. So, who are important means both a customer, a person. I mean, a customer, or you can say person, and the client. Both are important. List of organizations relevant to business. Yeah, let's say Nike is
Oh.
advertising their product. Adidas is advertising their product. Correct? They are important.
Hmm.
And at the same time, Sriram is also important because Sriram is the one who buy those products through Facebook. Correct.
Okay.
Like this, it works. And then comes when. When is like time. See, there are some applications which runs only in a particular time, like 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, like that. Okay. So
Okay.
this is when list of events significant to business.
Hmm.
It's a 24/7, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a 24/7. Yeah. And then comes why. List of business goals and strategies. It's why. Why means what is the purpose? Okay.
Okay. That will come under what, right? What is the purpose or?
Now, what exactly the Facebook is about? What? But why is like, see,
Oh, okay.
if I ask you, why did you buy a cell phone? There will be some purpose,
Hmm.
right? Like that. So there are so many
Okay.
phones.
Okay.
There are so many phones, and why did you buy only iPhone? Means you say like
Okay.
something like where it is faster than other, where I can take photos, correct? Clarity,
Hmm. Hmm.
something like that. The same way, uh, that is a major goal. The major goal of Facebook is to connect people and generate revenue at the same time. Correct?
Okay.
Okay, this is for your understanding only as a business
Hmm.
analyst. Once you get a clarity, then it will be easy for you, and then you can ask questions. See, you can follow the Zachman method, Moscow technique, and all these techniques in one project. Understand? Because
Yes. Yes.
the purpose is different. Moscow is different. Zachman is different. Correct? Yeah. So
Hmm.
when you will follow this Zachman method means when you are not very sure about the requirements, when you are not very sure about the project, when you need more and more detailed clarity about a project, okay, then you follow the
Okay.
Zachman method. Yeah. Okay. Next,
Okay.
next we have 3D method. Um, 3Ds means, see, sometimes what happens is client may request you to come with a new idea or a new thought. We also call it
Oh,
as
okay.
brainstorming session. Huh?
Okay.
Brainstorming. So what we have to do is we have to look into different industries, look into different applications. See, either as a BA you do it or SME do it. Correct. Subject matter
Hmm.
expert or a product owner will do it. But this is one technique. Understand? So
Okay.
not saying that only BA has to follow this. It's not like that. Even SME or a product owner also they follow this 3D, and they look into
Hmm.
other industries and try to find new things. And some come from your some ideas, some requirements come from your creativity, from your previous experience. Correct? Yes. So
Okay.
what you have to do here is this 3D says discover a requirement, discover something, a new, a unique requirement, and then uh, describe it. Describe to whom? Describe to client.
Client. Yeah.
So client will decide if it is a good requirement. That fellow says yes, go ahead and design it. Otherwise, not. That is documenting. We also call it
Okay.
as idea generation. A new idea generation. Also, these are the different names. Okay, idea generation, brainstorming. Okay, 3D.
Hmm.
Like this. So here is a small example. Like you discovered one requirement, like requirement example login page.
Okay.
So now client don't know what is login page. We have to describe it. So login page is
Right.
where it's a secured login, where it will have a user ID, password. Then if client, you describe it to the client. If client feel yes, it's a good requirement, then document it.
Hmm.
And these requirements can be a functional requirement or a non-functional or a system and a data requirement. See, as a BA, you take care of functional and non-functional.
Okay.
Correct. So, system requirements means systems analyst may come with a new
Developer.
yeah,
Okay.
new idea, new software related, technology
Hmm.
related, programming related. Yes, like that. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
This is a 3D discovering, describing, and documenting. So how do you do the discovery process? Means define objective and scope. First, try to understand the objective and scope of the project. Elicit the business requirements. Gather the requirements. Review, analyze, and validate the requirements. Understand the requirements. Validate them. Then come with the new ideas and show it to the client. Then, if client says yes, they are good, then document the requirements and obtain agreement and manage the requirements. The client will agree, right? Agreement must be done, right? These
Yes.
requirements must be done.
Okay.
Yes. What is the difference between elicitation and gathering?
Mm,
Here they said elicit.
gathering means,
Uh,
yeah, gathering means getting it from the client.
mhm.
Elicit means maybe we are showcasing it to him from our end.
You said in a opposite way. Okay. Elicitation is
Oh, okay.
what? Whatever the client tells you, whatever the client says you make a note of it. That is elicitation. Gathering.
Okay.
That's what I said. Gather. Gather means what? Like, see, then the word itself says gather. So gather all the people.
Hmm.
Means people from different places. You have to gather them. Correct. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Like that. So gathering means from different areas, different products, different people. You have to gather. That is a difference.
Okay.
Okay. So Moscow technique is a elicitation or a gathering,
It's elicitation.
and Zachman is elicitation or gathering.
It is also elicitation.
Yes. 3D model is elicitation or gathering.
It is gathering.
Correct. That's it. You are right.
Okay.
Great. And the next we have is we discussed three models here, and the next we'll see
Yeah.
gap analysis. So before going into gap analysis, let's say benchmarking process. What is benchmarking process? What do you know about this? What is the meaning of
Mm,
benchmarking?
not sure.
Hmm?
First time I'm hearing this. So.
Okay. So benchmarking means standard.
Okay.
So every human, every product, anything you take, a human or a product or any organization, a university or a school or a business, anything, any organization, they will have some benchmarks, standards.
Okay.
Like for example, we have many laptops in the market,
Hmm.
but the costliest one will be the MacBook compared to
Yes.
other laptops.
Hmm.
So now Apple people decided to sell their laptop for 1 lakh Indian rupees. That
Yeah.
is their benchmark
Hmm.
standard. So my now customer will ask this Apple company, why you are selling a laptop for 1 lakh? Why I have to buy a 1 lakh laptop from you where I get other laptops for 30 to 40,000 or 50,000 also? Correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
This is a question from a customer. Now this Apple company has to provide such product where customer must be able to pay. I mean, customer must pay. By looking into the product, customer must feel that yes, this is the excellent product. So so what they did, compare this MacBook with the other laptops. MacBook will be very slim, very thin,
Hmm.
very lightweight,
Yeah.
unbreakable, performance is very high. Correct.
Yes.
It won't affect infect virus very easily. Huh?
Okay.
A lot of things are there in this. And when you turn it on, when you try to turn it on, when you turn on the laptop, I mean MacBook, within a second the MacBook will open, wherein the Windows OS and other OS, it will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes also, like keep on updating. Correct.
Correct.
So these are some features. Not only that, I'm talking about the design. Even the charging point also, if you see, this will have a magnetic strip. The MacBook will have a magnetic strip, where the other laptops will have a pin, correct? The charging pin.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so most of the times what happens is we connect it to the charger when we try to pull the laptop, and suddenly it will fill. Many times it happens with
Hmm.
other laptops. But
Yeah.
MacBook, it's not like that. It's a small magnetic strip. If you pull also, just it will dismantle. I mean, just it's a magnetic, very lightweight strip. It will disconnect. That's it. Nothing will happen.
Okay.
So only for that particular requirement, they paid a lot of money for patent rights,
Hmm.
copyrights.
Yeah.
So you don't see that requirement in any other laptop.
Correct. Okay.
You understand? Because they are paying a lot of money for this copyrights, patent rights for every each and every minor to minor requirement also there. So now, what exactly the thing here is, they decided, the MacBook or the Apple company decided that I have to sell this particular laptop with 1 lakh, and these are the unique features I want to show to my customer. So
Customer.
this
Okay.
is the standard of the Apple company.
Hmm.
Now my question is, from where they got these requirements? You understand, right?
Okay.
My question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, boss. Everyone want uniqueness, everyone want lot of things, but from where you got me, that's their skill. That's their skill. They got it from, they may got it from their employees, the idea, or they
Hmm.
may have researched a lot, worldwide research they have done, and they may have bought from that.
Yes.
They may have
Yeah.
spent a lot
Yeah.
of money on research, and they brought those
Okay.
ideas, thoughts, correct?
Yes.
So this is known as benchmark. Second example is, um, a person who is getting, let's say, 50,000 salary. So
Okay.
he want to get a 75,000 salary. That is his benchmark now.
Hmm. Yeah.
So to reach that benchmark, what this fellow has to do is, his fellow has to undergo some training. He has to do some
Yes.
certification, something like that. Correct.
Hmm.
So why, what is happening is trying to fill the gap here. This human is trying to
Okay.
fill the gap. Okay, now I'm getting 50,000. I want to get 1 lakh. So how I will get 1 lakh means, I have to add these knowledge to my
Skills. Yeah.
these skills to my so
Resume.
so that I will get good job, more big salary. So what you are doing, you have set a
Correct.
benchmark. What is the benchmark? Is 1 lakh is the benchmark. To reach
Hmm.
that benchmark, what you are doing is, you are doing gap analysis.
Upgrading the skills.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
Upgrading means, how you know that if you do this skill, if you learn this, you will get this job. That means you did gap analysis here. You identified the gap where you are lacking.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have 10 years of experience. Your friend is also having 10 years experience, but you are getting 1 lakh and that fellow is getting 2 lakhs. You both are from the same
Hmm.
college, same school. You have same degrees, but this fellow is getting 2 lakhs and you are getting 1 lakh. What is the reason?
Yeah.
Now you have to see, okay, that fellow is doing something like this. He is working in so and so technology, is working. So that's why he's getting more salary. Now you identified the gap and you have to fill the gap. How will you fill the gap?
Hmm.
By learning those technology.
Yes. Okay.
That is how it works. So Here the point is, we cannot, or not a human or a organization, they cannot do this comparison or gap analysis in every area. It has some limits. Okay, see, you are a software engineer, you cannot compare yourself with a doctor.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly. So there are some limitations, some rules. So in the same way, organizations also will have some rules based on that. So the other companies, they will never compare with the Apple product. Okay,
Yeah, true. Okay.
that's it. Okay, so let's see. Benchmarking is the process of identifying the best practice in relation to both products, including and the processes by which those products are created and delivered. The search for best practice can take place both inside a particular industry and also in other industries. Means looking into other industries, comparing, right? I said
Hmm.
identifying the gap, comparison.
Research. Yeah.
Research, yeah. Now I gave an example like your friend is getting 2 lakhs. Means what you did, what you do normally, you will automatically you will see what type of job is this fellow is doing, correct? So what you are doing,
Mm-hmm.
you're identifying, you're filling the gap. I mean, you're trying to identify the gap where I'm lacking, and then
Yeah.
fill the gap. And here what they said, both inside a particular industry and also in other industries. Particular industry means a bank will compare with a bank, a insurance company will
Okay.
compare with the insurance company. Other industries means,
Hmm.
what happened, the trend has changed now. Now companies, organizations are comparing with other organizations. Means a retail store is comparing with a bank is comparing with a insurance company is comparing with some other company, telecommunication company, like. Why? Because everywhere they are selling product to customer, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in bank they are selling a account to a customer. In insurance company they are selling a policy to a customer. End of the day,
Policy.
customer is the out target. So now this bank will learn something from a insurance company. Insurance company will learn something from a retail store because they are selling products, right? Yes,
Yes. Okay.
exactly. Giving some offers or some discounts, correct?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
if you open 2 accounts, 1 account free, correct?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. This is how it happens. See, for example, are there lessons to be learned from other industries also? Yeah.
Okay.
The objective of benchmarking is to understand and evaluate the current position of business or organization in relation to best practice and to identify areas and means of performance improvement. In which area you are lacking, you try to increase that area performance. The
Hmm.
benchmarking process. Benchmarking involves looking outside a particular business, organization, industry, region, or country, and to understand the process they use. In this way, benchmarking helps explain the process behind excellent performance. Yes, already I told
Okay.
you, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
When the lessons learned from a benchmarking exercise are applied appropriately, they facilitate improved performance in critical functions within an organization or in key areas of business environment. Yes, in which
Business
area?
environment.
So here are the key steps, 4 key steps. Application of benchmarking involves 4 key steps. First one, understand in detail existing business process. Correct.
Hmm.
First, you try to understand your existing business process, then analyze the
Yes.
business process of others, then compare own business performance with that of others analyzed, then implement the
Okay.
steps necessary to close the performance gap. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, got it.
Yes. Yes.
Implement the steps necessary to close the performance gap. Benchmarking should not considered a one-off exercise. To be effective, it must become an ongoing integral part of ongoing improvement process with the goal of keeping abreast of ever improving best practice. Correct. So
Okay.
it's a continuous process. So these 4 steps are there, right? This is known as gap
Hmm.
analysis. That's it, filling the gap. See here. A technique for determining the steps to be taken in moving from a current state to a desired future state. What is your current situation? What you want to be in future? Also called need gap analysis, needs analysis, and needs assessment. Gap analysis
Okay.
consists of one listing of characteristic factors such as attributes, competencies, performance levels of the present situation, what is, and cross-listing factors required to achieve the future objectives, what should be. Correct?
Hmm.
Gap analysis identifies gaps between the optimized allocation. Same story, whatever.
Optimize. Okay.
See, in the first paragraph, they said need gap analysis, need analysis means when you are in need of it, you do it. Otherwise,
Okay.
every organization, every individual. See, when you are happy what you have right now, and when you are really satisfied, you don't do all this. Correct? You go to office
Yes.
happily, you work. Yes, you enjoy it.
Correct.
But when your need is increased, when you want to invest in something, when you want to lead a more luxury life, what happens?
Hmm.
You need more money. Correct? Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. What are we and where do we want to be? Yeah, what are we right now and where do we want to be in future? Gap analysis is a tool. Tool means it is not any software. It is a
Okay.
method, yeah, tool that helps companies compare actual performance with potential. See, you have
Hmm.
something where you can do that, but you don't know how to do it.
Yes. Okay.
Correct? Yes. Actual performance with potential performance.
Hmm.
That this is all about gap analysis. So tomorrow we will see chat sessions, interview and questionnaire. Okay.
Okay.
Those are also requirement gathering techniques and methods. Fine. So see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Take care.